De'Aaron Fox is quietly putting together a season that could redefine his career, and it's about time he gets the recognition he deserves. Through 19 games, Fox has been nothing short of spectacular, averaging 28.0 points, 5.8 assists, and 4.9 rebounds per game. These numbers not only showcase his growth as a player, but also highlight the career highs he's currently posting in both scoring and rebounding. What truly sets this season apart for Fox is the remarkable balance he's found, dominating offensively while stepping up defensively like never before. Fox has long been known for his speed, craftiness, and ability to score, but this season he's elevated his game to an entirely new level. He's putting on a show nearly every night, solidifying his place among the NBA's elite point guards. Despite the Sacramento Kings' somewhat underwhelming 9-10 record, Fox's brilliance has been impossible to ignore. He's already delivered some unforgettable performances, including a jaw-dropping 60-point explosion against the Minnesota Timberwolves, currently the highest-scoring game of the entire season by any player. He's also dropped 49 points in another standout game, further cementing his status as an offensive juggernaut. If that's not enough, he's recorded 11 25-plus point games and 5 30-plus point outings in just 19 games, proving that consistency is a key part of his arsenal. But Fox's dominance this season isn't limited to scoring. On the defensive end, he's taken a significant leap, showcasing his ability to lock down opponents in isolation and disrupt plays in pick-and-roll situations. This side of his game might not grab as many headlines, but it's just as important in establishing him as one of the most complete players in the league this year. So, what makes this season so special for De'Aaron Fox? Let's dive deeper into the stats and moments that define what could very well be the most complete and electrifying year of his career. Let's dive into a part of De'Aaron Fox's game that doesn't get nearly as much attention as it should: his defense. We all know Fox for his lightning speed and highlight reel offensive plays, but this season he's making a serious case for being one of the most effective defenders at the guard position in the entire NBA. And despite his lean frame, something that many skeptics have pointed to as a potential defensive liability, Fox is proving time and time again that he can hang with the best, and in some cases even outshine them. Despite his dominant defensive performance, many casual fans, or those who don't regularly watch the Kings, might still categorize him as an average or below average defender. But the truth is, the data paints an entirely different picture. Let's start with pick and roll defense, one of the most critical aspects of modern NBA basketball. Among players who have defended at least 90 pick-and-roll possessions this season, De'Aaron Fox ranks third in the league for the fewest points allowed per possession. That's right, Fox is giving up just 0.78 points per possession when guarding the ball handler in pick-and-roll situations. For context, that's better than some of the league's most renowned defensive players, such as Derek White, Mikal Bridges, Dyson Daniels, and Jaden Ivey. The only two players ahead of him in this category, rising star Amen Thompson and defensive anchor Anthony Davis. What makes this even more remarkable is the dramatic leap Fox has made compared to last season. If we rewind to last year, Fox was struggling in this area. He was allowing 0.93 points per possession in pick-and-roll defense, which placed him among the least effective defenders in that category. But fast forward to this season, and Fox has completely flipped the script. What was once a glaring weakness has now become one of his standout strengths. Now, if you've been paying attention to the Kings this season, this transformation might not come as a huge surprise. Fox's ability to navigate through screens has been absolutely exceptional. His slender frame, often seen as a disadvantage by critics, actually plays to his benefit here. Unlike bulkier guards or wings, Fox can weave through tight spaces with incredible ease, staying right on the hip of the ball handler and denying them any space to operate. But it's not just his frame that's making the difference. Fox's speed and quickness, which we usually associate with his offensive game, have been just as deadly on the defensive end. Offensively, we see him blow past defenders in the blink of an eye, cutting to the basket with unrivaled acceleration. But on defense, that same speed is a weapon in its own right. After navigating a screen, Fox uses his explosive burst to close any gaps the pick and roll action might have created, recovering to the ball handler almost instantly. This ability to recover so quickly is a nightmare for opposing offenses. The pick and roll, in essence, is designed to create space, a window of opportunity for the ball handler to score or set up a teammate. But when Fox is on the job, that window slams shut faster than you can blink. His relentless pressure forces offenses to abandon their initial play, scrambling to find another option, often with the shot clock ticking down. And that's where Fox's impact truly shines. In an era of basketball where the pick and roll is the backbone of most offensive systems, having a defender like Fox who can neutralize it is a game changer. Yet, this aspect of his game often goes unnoticed. It's easy to get caught up in the flashy highlights of lockdown isolation defenders, but excelling in pick and roll defense requires a unique combination of quickness, discipline, and basketball IQ, a trifecta that Fox has mastered. Fox's growth in this area deserves major recognition. He's not just relying on his athleticism, he's playing smarter, reading plays more effectively, and using his tools to maximum advantage. This evolution in his game has firmly cemented him as one of the league's top defensive guards, and it's an area of his game that deserves to be celebrated just as much as his offensive brilliance. Of course, Fox's scoring and playmaking will always steal the headlines, and rightfully so. But it's time to start acknowledging him as a complete two-way player. His ability to make game-changing plays on the defensive end is just as valuable as his ability to fill up the box score on offense. So the next time you tune into a Kings game, don't just marvel at the dazzling drives, the clutch jumpers, or the highlight reel finishes. Take a moment to appreciate the way Fox locks down ball handlers, disrupts pick and rolls, and forces offenses into uncomfortable positions. Because this season, De'Aaron Fox isn't just running past defenders, he's locking them up too. And that's a part of his game that we simply can't afford to overlook. Another area of De'Aaron Fox's game that deserves a spotlight is his isolation defense, an aspect he has drastically improved this season. When you break it down, the numbers are nothing short of jaw-dropping. Fox hasn't just improved as an isolation defender, he's emerged as one of the best isolation defenders in the entire league, regardless of position. Let's talk stats. This season, Fox is allowing just 0.14 points per possession when defending opponents in isolation situations. Think about that for a moment. Among all players who have defended at least 10 isolation possessions this season, Fox ranks second across the entire NBA. Now here's where it gets even more remarkable. Out of the 14 isolation possessions Fox has defended so far this season, opponents have attempted 10 field goals. And how many of those shots went in? Absolutely none. That's right, 0 baskets on 10 attempts. Fox has completely locked down every single player who's tried to score on him in isolation. For Fox, known primarily for his offensive explosiveness, to insert himself into this elite defensive conversation is truly extraordinary. Of course, it's worth noting that Fox has only defended 14 isolation possessions so far, a smaller sample size compared to someone like Jarrett Allen, who leads the league with 40 isolation possessions defended. But what's drawing attention isn't just the numbers, it's the dramatic improvement in Fox's defensive performance. Let's rewind to last season. In 2022-23, Fox allowed opponents to score 0.86 points per possession in isolation. That's a respectable number, but far from elite. Fast forward to now, and he's slashed that number to 0.14. That's not just improvement, that's transformation. It's clear that Fox has put in serious work on the defensive side of his game, and the results are undeniable. Now, let's temper expectations for a moment. Sustaining a number as ridiculous as 0.14 points per possession over an entire season will be incredibly difficult, and it's likely that number will rise as the sample size grows. But the signs we're seeing right now, both in the stats and through the eye test, suggest this isn't a fluke. Fox's lateral quickness, his ability to anticipate his opponent's moves, and his determination to contest every shot have all taken a noticeable step forward. Opposing players are beginning to realize that isolating against Fox might not be the best offensive strategy. And Here's the exciting part. This newfound defensive prowess could have a monumental impact on Fox's reputation. He's already established himself as one of the league's most electrifying offensive players, thanks to his blazing speed and ability to create for himself and his teammates. But now Fox is quietly building a case as one of the league's best two-way guards. If he can continue to grow as a defender while maintaining his offensive dominance, Fox could take his game and his career to the next level. We're talking about serious consideration for all NBA honors. Imagine a player who can not only lead the Sacramento Kings on offense, but also anchor their defense in key moments. That's the kind of player who changes the trajectory of a franchise. So, where does this leave us? Right now, Fox's isolation defense is turning heads. The numbers are elite, the effort is obvious, and the improvement is undeniable. Opponents are starting to figure it out. De'Aaron Fox isn't just a problem on offense, he's a problem on defense too. This is the type of growth that elevates a player from an all-star to a potential superstar. Keep an eye on De'Aaron Fox because the best is yet to come. When it comes to De'Aaron Fox's defensive game, one of the most underrated and often overlooked aspects is his remarkable ability to use speed and quickness to recover to his man or contest an open shot. This skill is a true hallmark of Fox's defensive prowess and a defining feature of his game. His quickness allows him to cover vast stretches of the court in a blink, and it's this ability that sets him apart from many other defenders in the NBA. What makes it even more impactful is that this speed isn't just a natural gift. It's something that Sacramento Kings head coach Mike Brown and his staff have strategically incorporated into their defensive system, turning it into a key weapon on that end of the floor. One of the most striking aspects of Fox's recovery is how he uses it in situations where he's been forced to overhelp. You'll often see Fox positioning himself to provide help defense, sometimes appearing to be too far from his man, especially when he's rotating off a shooter or sagging in the paint to assist on a driving ball handler. At first glance, it may look like Fox is playing too far off his assigned player, allowing them to think they've got an open shot lined up. But what the offensive player doesn't see coming is Fox's speed. The moment that pass is made, Fox is already closing the gap, quickly recovering to contest the shot or disrupt the drive. It's a move that often catches shooters by surprise, leaving them scrambling to adjust their shot at the last second. What makes this strategy so effective is that it's not just a lucky burst of speed, it's part of the Kings' overall game plan. The coaching staff encourages Fox to play compact, aggressive defense, often overcommitting to one side of the court. This method of shrinking the court is designed to force the ball handler into a position where they have to make a quick decision, typically to pass to Fox's man, who appears to have an open look. The beauty of this system is that it's set up for Fox to then recover in time to contest that shot, making the easy look seem much more difficult in the blink of an eye. And it's this anticipation, combined with Fox's unparalleled speed, that consistently disrupts the flow of the offense. Fox doesn't just get back to contest shots, he also does a fantastic job of cutting off driving lanes. By closing the distance so rapidly, he forces the ball handler to reassess their options and often leads them into a situation where they have no clear path to the basket. When Fox does get there in time to contest a shot, he doesn't just challenge it from a distance. He forces the offensive player to make a split-second decision, throwing off their rhythm and forcing the ball out of their comfort zone. In these moments, Fox's ability to make life uncomfortable for his man is a testament to his defensive instincts and basketball IQ. Of course, in today's game, even the best defenders face the reality that some players can still make tough, contested shots. Despite Fox's near-perfect positioning and rapid recovery, some players, whether through skill or sheer toughness, will still manage to sink these difficult shots. But that's not on Fox. He's done his job. He's contested the shot, gotten there in time, and made it as difficult as possible. In the NBA, even the most perfectly executed defense isn't enough to stop a great shot. More often than not, however, Fox's ability to recover and contest shots results in missed opportunities for the offense. His speed allows him to put constant pressure on shooters, making them second-guess their options and rush their decisions. While this defensive impact doesn't always show up in traditional box scores, it's incredibly important in determining the outcome of a game. Fox's ability to contest shots, alter drives, and force misses is a major reason why he's such a crucial part of the Kings' defensive strategy. As the league continues to evolve and scoring continues to rise, Fox's ability to recover and test shots stands out as one of the most underrated defensive qualities in the game today. His skill set doesn't always get the headlines, but it's an essential piece of the puzzle for the Kings' success on that end of the floor. Whether it's pressuring shooters into misses, closing off driving lanes, or simply making life harder for opposing players, Fox's defensive contributions are undeniable. As he continues to grow and refine his game, expect his defensive skills to gain more recognition, solidifying him as one of the most underrated defenders in the NBA today. When it comes to offensive talent, De'Aaron Fox has been taking his game to new heights this season, solidifying his status as one of the most dynamic and electrifying players in the NBA. Of course, we're all familiar with his ability to score, whether it's with silky smooth two-pointers, deadly three-pointers, or those clutch pull-up jumpers. But there's one aspect of his game that's often overlooked, yet it's proving to be a huge factor in his offensive surge this year: his ability to draw fouls. At first glance, drawing fouls might not have the same flash as Fox's dazzling scoring moves. It's not as glamorous as sinking a deep three-pointer or a highlight reel dunk, but let me tell you, drawing fouls is absolutely critical for any elite scorer, and Fox has truly mastered this art. As of this season, Fox is currently ranked 4th in the entire NBA for most fouls drawn, with 105 total fouls drawn. What makes this even more impressive is that Fox is the only guard in the top 5 of this category. The 3 players ahead of him? They're all elite big men: Giannis Antetokounmpo, Anthony Davis, and Alperen Şengün. These guys are known for their physical dominance and ability to punish defenders with their size and strength. Yet here's Fox, a point guard, hanging with them, showing just how effective he is at creating contact and putting defenders in tough situations. Drawing fouls is an art form, as I've mentioned in previous videos when talking about Anthony Davis. When a player masters this skill, it takes their scoring to another level and makes them extremely difficult to defend. And this season, Fox has taken that skill to new heights. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Fox doesn't just draw fouls, he capitalizes on them in a big way. This season, he's having a career year at the free throw line, shooting an impressive 80.8% from the stripe. That's a notable jump from his previous career high of 78.0% last season. And that jump in efficiency makes a world of difference. It's not just about getting to the line, it's about converting those opportunities, and Fox is doing so at a rate that few players in the league can match. When you combine his ability to get to the free throw line with his newfound accuracy, you have a player who becomes nearly impossible to stop. Defenders have to pick their poison. Do they let him get to the rim and risk a foul, or do they try to contest his shot and hope for the best? Either way, Fox's offensive game becomes that much more lethal, especially when you add in his ability to score in so many different ways. This free throw efficiency doesn't just make Fox more efficient, it adds a level of consistency to his game that is rare to find. And with his refined skills, it wouldn't be surprising at all if Fox earned an all-NBA selection by the end of this season. He's on a trajectory that could put him among the league's elite, and his ability to draw fouls and convert free throws is a big reason why. But that's not all. While Fox was already good at making tough shots last season, this year he's taken that part of his game to another level. I'm talking about his ability to knock down contested shots. The kind of shots where the defender is right in his face and he has to find a way to get the ball off despite the tight coverage. And let me tell you, Fox has been finding a way. He's currently shooting an effective field goal percentage of 61.1% on shots with tight contests, meaning when the nearest defender is within 2 to 4 feet of him. To put that into context, Fox is ranked 4th in the entire league for effective field goal percentage on contested shots, among players who attempt at least 7 contested shots per game. The only players ahead of him, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Ivica Zubac, and Jaren Jackson Jr., all of whom are big men, known for their shot blocking and rim protection. To be in that company, especially as a guard, is a major statement about Fox's skill and growth, and it gets even better. Fox's performance in this area puts him ahead of some of the best shot makers in the NBA, guys like Karl Anthony Towns, Anthony Davis, Kevin Durant, Gilgeous-Alexander, all of whom are known for their ability to hit difficult shots under pressure. To be among the best in that company, especially as a guard, speaks volumes about Fox's evolution as a scorer. So, when we take a step back and look at Fox's offensive leap this season, it's clear that he's not just refining his existing skills. He's adding new dimensions to his game that make him an even more dangerous player. His ability to draw fouls, hit free throws at an elite rate, and knock down contested shots places him in rare company and makes him one of the most complete offensive threats in the league today. If Fox keeps this up, we're looking at a player who will not only continue to dominate this season, but will likely be considered one of the premier offensive forces in the NBA for years to come. De'Aaron Fox is having a career-defining season that could reshape his future in the NBA. His numbers are truly remarkable, but it's his growth as a complete player that stands out. Offensively, Fox is a one-man show, scoring with ease, drawing fouls, and hitting contested shots with an impressive level of composure. His ability to attack the rim with blistering speed, get to the free throw line, and convert those opportunities has made him nearly unstoppable. With his efficiency and consistency, it's clear this is just the beginning of a career that could reach even greater heights. What makes this season even more special, however, is Fox's development on the defensive side of the ball. Once overlooked for his defense, Fox has transformed into one of the NBA's most effective defenders, particularly in isolation and pick-and-roll situations. This leap on defense not only elevates his status as one of the most dangerous offensive players in the game, but also positions him as a key defensive asset for the Sacramento Kings. His ability to lock down opponents when it matters most makes him a true two-way force and a game-changer for his team. Looking ahead, Fox's evolution is far from over. His defense will only continue to improve, and offensively, he's set to remain one of the most dynamic players in the league. With his all-around game taking new form, an all-NBA selection isn't out of the question. In fact, if he keeps this up, we could be talking about him as one of the league's next true superstars. The best is still ahead for De'Aaron Fox. As the Kings push for a deep playoff run, Fox will lead the charge, and this season could be just the beginning of a legendary career. Stay tuned, because the future of Fox's game is electric, and the rest of this season promises to be unforgettable.